Lawrence lofts it. Picked off. Greg Newsome the second.
Way too many turnovers yesterday for the Jacksonville Jaguars, 4 of them in fact. They did force 3, but sloppy football game as the Jaguars come up short up there in Cleveland, and the Browns were able to convert on 4th downs. In fact, on a 3 for 3 on 4th downs, and this one, a backbreaker and a touchdown for Cleveland that gave them that 2-touchdown lead. We're going to talk about it all right here, right now, on Jags Report Live from Sneakers.
This is the Action Sports Jags Report Live, coming to you live from Sneakers, sponsored by Farah & Farah, the exclusive injury law firm of the Jaguars.
I don't doubt this team moving forward, but we work really hard and we have the talent to not be in this position. So that's the frustrating thing. The work doesn't stop. The journey to figure this out doesn't stop. Excuse my language, but it just doesn't stop.
The work doesn't stop, indeed, and the Jags have some work to do. Suddenly, 2 straight losses, and they fall to 8-5 on the season as they lose up in Cleveland. Hello, Sneakers. We're out at Jax Beach having a good time tonight. The show goes on, win or lose. It's what we do, and we appreciate all the fans who have come out to support the program here tonight. Hello, everybody. Dan Hicken here. And listen, I've been dealing with doom and gloom all day. I got doom and gloom on the radio all morning long. Let's kind of set the stage here. We're 8-5. Those Jaguars are 8-5. Those Jags are still in first place in the AFC South. The Jags are playing meaningful football in the month of December for the 2nd year in a row, and there's a lot of football left to be played, and it starts Sunday with the Baltimore Ravens. Now, we're going to look back, though, first things first. We're going to talk about the game with the Cleveland Browns and kind of how it went overall. And listen, I think if you eliminate the sloppiness, and we've got a couple special guests here tonight, by the way, we're loaded up, so we're going to have a good time tonight. But if you get rid of the sloppiness, I think the Jags will get back to the winning formula, which has worked for them. And I'm talking about penalties. I'm talking about miscommunication. I'm talking about blown coverages. I'm talking about things like that. I'm talking about, maybe on a punt, not jumping off sides, things of that nature. That can't happen. The Jags players know that. Doug Peterson knows about it. He talked about it today in his press conference on Monday.
When you look at the tape, it's all the self-inflicted stuff. I mean, it's just fundamental things that we can control. You get those corrected, and you put a little bit of the attention to detail on those, I think you will be back to playing good football and competing.
Yeah, and I think he's absolutely right. Okay, shout out to Trevor Lawrence, right? I mean, toughed it out. I mean, we saw that injury a week ago, and we were like, oh, boy, we could be in some serious trouble here. To his credit, to his body's credit, he's able to recover, able to get through it, played on the ankle, did the best he could, gave it a full go. Got to tip your cap to him. I don't think they wanted to throw it as much as they did throw it. Here are his teammates talking about Trevor after this game yesterday.
Just the epitome of our team, just out there fighting for one purpose, and that's to win, fighting for your brothers. And I feel like just seeing them out there it's just going to just bring so much energy and fire into the next game, because we all seen what happened last weekend and seeing what happened. And I feel like for him to be out here with us, trying to get us his victory, I feel like that's all you can ask for out of a quarterback.
I mean, as fans, man, I got to tell you, it's a tough game. It's a tough, violent game that these guys play. And Trevor threw it a lot of times yesterday. I don't think they wanted to do that. But as you see, 3rd most passes in his career at Seattle, at Houston, at Cleveland, all on the road. You look up and he's got 50 pass attempts. And that usually is not a formula for success.
It's time for the game plan, sponsored by Everbank. Advantage you. Make the most of your money at everbank.com/Jaguars.
All right, so the passing game was not at its best yesterday. We know that. Guys seemed a little bit out of sync. Maybe it had to do with the lack of practice. Whatever the reason why, there certainly did not work. Calvin Ridley was targeted 13 times, only had 4 catches. You expect more from him. He expects more from himself as well. Trevor expects more from his receiving core. All in all, it did not work yesterday. So What do I know? Let's ask the experts. My first guest tonight is an outstanding Jacksonville Jaguar football player. He wears number 2. He's from the University of Miami. He gave his heart and soul to this franchise. Please welcome to the show, Mr. Rashean Jenkins. Thank you, Rashean. I always wanted to do that. I feel like a TV show host, you know what I mean? I was sort of wanted to introduce you that way. How you doing?
Thank you.
You doing all right?
Yes, sir.
All right. So let's get through some of the things first. Tough loss yesterday, right? Just give me a perspective of kind of, from your vantage point, what happened in Cleveland. I know we're dealing with injuries, but I also know you guys don't like to make excuses for anything.
Yeah, no, it's definitely no excuses. Just like you heard Coach Doug say earlier, it's all just self-inflicted wounds. So, you know, we had, I want to say, 3 blown coverages yesterday, 3 touchdowns yesterday, and then you talk about those pass attempts from Trevor throwing 50. When you're playing uphill the entire game, I mean, you got to try to score immediately just to try to get back into the game.
I'll give Joe Flacco a little bit of credit too, right? Guy's
Absolutely.
38 years old, could still sling it pretty well.
Absolutely.
Sitting on a couch a couple weeks ago, comes back into the league. I mean, you know, he won a Super Bowl, so, you know, but he wasn't 28-year-old Joe Flacco. He's 38-year-old Joe Flacco. But Cleveland, without Deshaun Watson, found a guy who could help them, I think, down the stretch. What did you think of how Flacco played yesterday?
Just a seasoned vet. You could obviously tell he watches. I mean, he just knows the game. So any little look we gave him, there's literally a small margin of error in this game once you play against players like that, because he's just seen so much. And for him to just be able to continue to do that at the age of 38, then that just goes to show you.
Give us some insight, Rashean, on how important continuity is. And when we get injuries, Tyson not playing, right? Trey not playing. So you're missing key guys, 2 of your guys in the secondary. Just talk about the communication, how important continuity is. Give us a feel for what's going on the back end of the defense.
Yeah, I mean, everything kind of just works together. So we always have that next man up mentality, and the next guys in those spots, we're professionals at the end of the day, so we have to be able to step into that role, and it be no drop off from, you know, whether it's first string to whatever string it may be. And that's kind of just how you earn your keep in this league. And you know, you got to just go about practice that way. And just like you said, man, this has to be we do this together. You know, there's not an individual effort out there, so we have to all be on the same page at all times.
And I guess so ultimately when you went over the tape today, you talked about the 3 plays that you weren't on the same page. It's just missed assignments.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Completely just blown assignments.
Yeah.
You know, it would have been one thing if the touchdowns that happened were contested touchdowns, but there were literally nobody around these guys.
Right.
And you know, anytime, I don't care who you is, anytime you go down 14-0 like that
on the road,
it doesn't matter who you are. It's going to be tough.
Because I did think you guys got back to physical football in terms of stopping the run. That has been your bread and butter until the Cincinnati game. You guys have been really good at it, and it felt like that kind of returned yesterday. So if you could have just taken away those missed coverages or blown coverages, probably different outcome yesterday.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I want to say between those 3 plays, it was 100 and maybe like 50 yards.
Yeah.
You know, and I want to say Joe Flacco threw for about 311 yesterday for 45 attempts.
Yeah.
So if you just take away those three plays and make them earn whatever they need to do, then it's a different ball game.
All right, let's take a look at the power play of the week.
Power Play of the Week, sponsored by IBEW Local 177, powering Jacksonville since 1912.
All right, tell me about this young guy. The rookie from Texas A&M, Antonio Johnson, who caused a turnover, came in untouched, put the big hit on Flacco. And by the way, as a defensive back, when you get a free shot on the quarterback, in this day and age, you better do it right. You better not, lead with the head or hit him in the wrong spot, right? I mean,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Great play by the young buck getting in there and, showing what he's capable of. Just like you say, when your opportunity comes around, you have to make it, and then you have to make the most of it. And he made the most of it. He not only got the sack, he got a strip sack that we were able to recover. And I want to say our offense got points off of this.
Yes, you did. I think two of the turnovers led to 14 points. One was a 12-yard drive, and then that one as well. You're able to go in and cash out and make some things happen. So overall, again, we're counting on a lot of young guys back there in the secondary. And I mean, I know you practice, but then once you get out there and play, it's a totally, I mean, take yourself back to your younger days, right? You got to get out and you got to get reps during the game.
Yeah, absolutely. It's nothing like real game reps because you can't feel the actual strain of an NFL play. You know, you can practice all you want, but once, you know, this might be the only play I have, until you have that feeling, then you haven't really felt what a real game feels like, and you need those reps because once you do it in the game, then you know your next opportunity. I've done this before. You can continue to just make plays.
Well, we're just warming up with this guy. We've got him for a couple more segments. We got Rasheen Mathis coming up as well. We got a lot going on Jags Report Live tonight. Appreciate Rayshawn Jenkins very much. We're going to talk about Evan Engram as well. What a year, what a game he had yesterday. More about number 17. That's still to come. We're live at Sneakers. The fans are here. There's still hope. There's still excitement. Don't you dare give up. Hey, there's Rasheen. It's all coming up on Jags Report Live.
This is the Action Sports Jags Report Live. Coming to you live from Sneakers. Sponsored by Farah & Farah, the exclusive injury law firm of the Jaguars.
Evan's a great player. I feel like he could do that every week. I love how he's playing. I feel like we're on the same page. We're doing some things well, and we got to keep expanding on that and getting better.
All right, we are live at Sneakers. It's Jags Report Live. We're talking about the Jags and the Cleveland Browns and the game from yesterday. Jags lose a tough one. Fans are out here, though, having a good time, getting some good food as well. And I got Rashean Jenkins here, Dan Hicken back, talking about Evan Engram. And let me ask you this question first, Rashean. Why is Evan Engram such a, they like to say, a matchup nightmare? Mm-hmm. So, I mean, why because he's a tight end, but he's a receiver.
Right.
So tell me a little bit about why he's so tough to cover.
I mean, just like you said, he's a tight end, but he has some receiver skills.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he does a good job of just running after the catch. He catches the ball really well. He's physical. He's going to give just about any linebacker and or safety a matchup problem in this league. I mean, I go against him every day.
Yeah. They told us that he dropped the football when he came from New York. I haven't really seen that at all. He's got 84. I mean, Rashean, the guy is playing at an elite level.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, I haven't seen it, and you know, that was kind of something I heard when he first came over, but I can tell you right now, it's something that's, if it was there, it's gone now.
One of the things I've noticed about him is he's one of the first guys out of the locker room on game day. He goes through a protocol preparing for the game that he is locked into where, I mean, he's catching tennis balls and things of that nature, but he definitely goes through something to get himself ready.
Yeah, absolutely. Every day he does that. It's not just game day. I mean, he approaches practice every day with that mentality of, I have to get better today. And that's something you want, out of your, better players on the team. And we're going to continue to need his play moving forward.
All right, look, I want to show some numbers on Evan Engram because I want to make sure we give him his due and how he has performed this year. And Evan Engram is setting records. Last year, he set the franchise record for tight ends with 73 catches. Well, he's already blown that away. He's up to 84 now this year. 84 catches. He got a couple touchdowns yesterday, so he's chasing down that 4 that he had last year. He's already got his 30 first downs. I mean, he's been everything you could possibly hope for. Tremendous investment by the Jacksonville Jaguars. Now, we come back here, and I want to ask you a question about the violent game of professional football. Because I was watching you yesterday, and in the second half, I think it was the second half, you took a shot, man, and you went out for one play, I think.
Yeah, one play.
One play. You came back in. You took another shot. And, it's a violent. How much do you weigh?
About 210.
Yeah, he tells people he's 210.
Yeah, I'm probably 205.
I mean, and your job is to go and hit guys who are sometimes 220, 230, tight ends. It's a violent game, Rashean. It hurts. Just tell me a little bit about that part of it.
Oh, yeah, it hurts, man. This is something you not only have to be physically prepared for, this is something you have to be mentally prepared for as well. And this game is very violent, and that's why your head has to be on the swivel at all times because it could get bad out there.
You are sort of contracted to come up and take big hits on guys as well. That's part of your job.
That's part of my game. That's part of my description. And you know, it's something that I enjoy, but it's something that also, you know, it takes a toll on your body. And like I said, you have to do your body right by eating right, lifting right, you know, stretching and doing all the extra stuff.
How do you, like, what's one of your things to recover? Like, how are you feeling today, Monday? Monday's the worst day, I suppose, right?
Oh, absolutely. Monday is horrible getting out of bed.
Yeah.
You know, but, you know, some things I do to recover, I get in the ice tub, I get in the cold tubs. I'm doing yoga tomorrow, so you know, just different stuff like that, just to keep my body just loose and keep the blood flowing. Hopefully, we get to Sunday and you're ready to go. You also had a good breakup, a near pick yesterday as well on the sideline. Tell me about that play. What did you see? It was just a gotta have it situation right here. It's third down, and I forget how long, but you know, this is the play as soon as I got back in, and this is the play I wanted to be in for, just because it was third down. Right. And it was something that, you know, it wasn't perfect. You know, Flacco was able to get out of the pocket, and, you know, I had to strain and get to the receiver. And I thought it was going to be a pick, but Coop did a good job of breaking it up. Yeah, first and foremost, your job is to not let him catch the ball. Yeah, but then you look up and you go, wait a minute, you got your hands on it, like maybe I can grab this thing, right? Flacco's wily getting out of that pocket, man. We had chances to get him, and he's not really athletic, but he moves around okay, doesn't he? Yeah, man, hats off to Flacco. He definitely moved. He was more mobile than I thought he was going to be, so like I said, hats off to Flacco. Let's do our drive of the day.
The drive of the day, driven by your local Ford dealers.
All right, Jaguars had to score early, a 75-yard drive. They got things going. Man, again, defenses play differently when they have a 2-score lead, right? So you're going to allow, but gosh, ETN looked good catching the ball out of the backfield. I wish we could, you know, again, I'm sure that they were taking that away in different parts of the game, because as fans, we always go, why haven't they been doing that the whole day? Well, because the defense is keeping things in front of them when they have a 2-score lead. Am I right or am I wrong on that? No, you're very right. The defense plays differently when you have the momentum, and then B, you have the lead, because now the offense, it puts the offense kind of in this, I don't want to say panic mode, but they have to put points on the board and put out the fire. And, you know, when your defense knows that, they try to take advantage of that in every way. Let me ask you this question, too. As a defensive back, yesterday was odd in this respect. They did not call one defensive pass interference or one defensive hold by any secondary guy until the very end of the game. Are you aware of something like that? And can you tell that the refs are letting you play, which thusly allows you to take maybe more chances? Or do you have to still be cognizant of trying to play by the rules? Because these refs are terrible. I mean, generally speaking, I'll say it. But you tell me, Rashean. Yeah, I mean, that's something we definitely noticed yesterday. And you know, I respect it. I like for them to be able to just let us play our game. Yeah. And I wish they had let us know that before the game. I'd have been smacking receivers all across the head yesterday. But hats off to the ref yesterday. Yes. You know they did a good job in terms of, like you said, keeping the flags at a minimum and just letting things just kind of play out. All right, let's take a look at the AFC now. And where we stand as we head into Monday Night Football. The Dolphins, if they win, will be 10-3 and replace Baltimore as the top seed. The Jags are right there, though. Division leaders. We got solids yesterday from the New York Jets and the Cincinnati Bengals. Thank you very much. Yeah, thank you. So we stay a game clear of those guys in the AFC South. But it's a lot of, boy, I tell you what, man. It's going to be a fight to the end, isn't it? Yeah, nobody said it was going to be easy. This is what this division is all about, man. We got some good teams in this division, especially, you know, the Texans. And the Colts have come on here recently in these last few weeks, so they're doing a pretty good job over there as well. But like you say, man, good job by the Jets and the Cincinnati yesterday. All right, just a little peek ahead here as we get ready for Lamar. Lamar is Lamar. He's a guy you only have to say Lamar. We know who he is, an NFL MVP, a great quarterback. Sometimes you guys use extra safety on the field. How do you defend Lamar Jackson? What are some of the keys to maybe slowing him down? Well, A, run to the ball, and then B, our D-line, our defensive line has to do a good job of containing him and minimize the extending of the plays. And as long as we do that, and like you say, we might put
put different packages, present different looks and things like that. As long as we do that, I think we should be good in this game.
Yeah, we saw your guy Dewey out there a little bit more last year, so we shall see. All right, the Jags are banged up. There's no doubt about it. And we could take a look at some of the injuries that have been going on with this football team, so we know how it is. But we got pretty good news from Doug Peterson on Ezra and Cisco today that they thinks that those guys are going to be okay. Tyson Campbell maybe, but again, Tyson's got to get healthy, man. He said, you get that hamstring, man, it always is there. You got to wait till it's totally healed. It's a tough thing because players want to play, and, you know, it can lead to other things, you know. So.
Yeah, most definitely. And to be a defensive back in this league, a hamstring is not something you want to have because our job description is literally just running.
Right.
So you don't want to have a hamstring, but he's definitely doing a good job. He's in there every day getting treatment, and he's a warrior, so I don't doubt he'll be back.
All right, Brent Martineau in Cleveland yesterday has more on the banged-up Jaguars.
Are the Jaguars too beat up to be as good as they need to be at this point of the season? Take the offensive line, for example. They're on their fourth left tackle Sunday in Cleveland. Blake Hance had to step in for Ezra Cleveland, and Ezra Cleveland hadn't played left tackle since college. He's been playing the NFL for 4 years now. Jaguars are trying to fix holes in the offense, but they're unable to do it. Christian Kirk's injury seems big. Parker Washington, a nice touchdown catch, but he also had a costly fumble. And on the defensive side of things, Monteric Brown, Gregory Jr., Antonio Johnson, you're mixing a lot of new players into the lineup. And there were some big busts on Sunday against the Browns. The Jags have to find a fix quick.
It's always next man up. It's NFL football. They don't really care if it's third string or first string. You're in the game, got to execute for the team, for the boys. Opportunity to get better from it. Got to learn fast. Got to come and play our best football going down the stretch.
Maybe one dose of good injury news for the Jacksonville Jaguars. They are eligible to get Jamal Agnew back into the fold against the Baltimore Ravens on Sunday Night Football. He obviously is really good in the return game and can also help on offense and has been a spark plug over the years for the Jaguars. In Cleveland, Ohio, I'm Brent Martineau, Action Sports Jax.
Yeah, we miss Brent. He tore a meniscus on the way back, so hopefully he'll be back next Monday. We'll see how it goes. We got sunshine and rainbows coming up, though. There's got to be some sunshine in this dreary two-game stretch, and we are going to deck the chairs here at Jags Beach. Yes, out at Sneakers. Deck those chairs with boughs of holly. Fa la 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 la, la la la. Yeah, you get it. All right, we got more coming up with Rayshawn next.
The Action Sports Jags Report Live, coming to you live from Sneakers, sponsored by Farah & Farah, the exclusive injury law firm of the Jaguars.
All right, we're visiting with Rashean Jenkins, some sunshine and rainbows, and taking a look. And listen, we gotta recognize some guys who played good football. Parker Washington had another touchdown yesterday. That's 2 in 2 games, so the rookie is continuing to progress, and we need him. Although I saw Christian Kirk rehabbing already. I saw a video of that.
Yeah.
Kind of like that. And shout out to the Jets and the Bengals. Thank you very much for all that you do. And then we'll also talk about getting ready for Under the Lights and the fans coming back out on Sundays. We welcome you back here to Sneakers. Rashean Jenkins, our guest for one more segment. We got Rasheen on deck as well. I want to talk first about Tyreek Hill, who's having an MVP-type year, has been fantastic for the Dolphins. They play coming up tonight. He gave these guys scooters for Christmas. So I was wondering if, like, in your career, have you ever run across something like that or seen other guys get gifts or at Christmas time, something?
Yeah, all the time. We gift each other things all the time.
Yeah.
Like next week we're doing, well, this week actually we're doing the Secret Santa, so we'll get the names to all the players we're doing.
Okay.
You know,
do you get just one player, or do you do the?
No, just one player.
Okay.
Just one. It gets.
You want to tell
expensive.
us who you drew or no?
Well, we draw Wednesday.
Wednesday, darn it.
So we draw Wednesday, and I actually received a scooter from a former teammate of mine, Derwin James. He actually bought us bird scooters, and I still have that. It's completely customized and everything.
Yeah, there's nothing like Derwin James. Shout out to him. All right, what about playing nighttime at the bank? Because that was pretty fun. I mean, the result wasn't great, but Monday night. Now you got Sunday night, prime time. This is used to be when I was a kid, Monday Night Football was the deal. Now it's Sunday Night Football. Talk to me about that and what's coming up with Baltimore.
Yeah, man, prime time at the bank is always great. It's always, the energy is always high. And one thing we have to do, though, we have to find a way to win at home. Our home record isn't too great this year. And, you know, if we're going to come out of the tunnel and it looks like that, we have to win, you know, for Duval.
Yeah. And you can't really – I could ask you a million times, and every player is going to tell me, I don't know. I don't know why we don't win at home. It's been very odd this year. You had set a franchise record for wins away from home, 8 in a row until yesterday. And but there's no explaining why it just hasn't worked out. I'm sure do you have any theories at all?
I mean, I honestly, I can't tell you.
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty odd, you know, given the team that we are. And just like you said, our away record is, you know.
Yeah, outstanding.
Yeah. And then we come in front of our home fans and on our home turf, and we can't, you know, seem to be consistent with the winning part. So.
Well, you know this. The NFL is a week-to-week league, so bring on the Baltimore Ravens, and we'll see what happens on Sunday night. You're a class act, Rashean Jenkins. Thank you for coming in. We appreciate
it. Thank you.
That's our friend Rashean Jenkins, defensive back number 2. Give it up for Rashean. We're going to turn our attention to another former defensive back, Rasheen Mathis. He's going to join us the second half hour. That's coming up right here on Jags Report Live.
This is the Action Sports Jags Report Live, coming to you live from Sneakers, sponsored by Farah & Farah, the exclusive injury law firm of the Jaguars.
It's kind of the life of a backup. You always have to be ready at any given moment, and you know, I've learned that many times in my career, so you're always prepared to step in. You know, even when you don't expect it, you have to expect it. You know, that's just the life of a backup.
It is the life of a backup. Blake Hance, God bless him, man. He's, you know, the 4th left tackle for the Jaguars. He goes into the game, he looks up, and he's got Myles Garrett sitting across from him, and he did his very best. And, you know, they only had 4 sacks yesterday, and all in all, considering how depleted the offensive line is, I think the Jags did well. They've got to be able to start to run block a little bit better. We're live at Sneakers. I'm Dan Hicken. Appreciate you guys hanging out with us, talking Jaguars football for 60. Oh, look at that. That's Jaguars past to Jaguars present right there. We go from Rashean to Rasheen. Let me tell you a little bit about Rasheen Mathis and show you a little bit about Rasheen Mathis before we bring him up here. He is the greatest defensive player in the history of the Jacksonville Jaguars. He still is. Yeah, I mean, he is. There's no denying. 29 years of football. Our guy here, first team All-Pro in 06 with the Jaguars from 03 to 12. 30 career interceptions with the Jaguars. He used to torture the Pittsburgh Steelers back in the day. So, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, give it up to Rasheen Mathis as we welcome him to the show. I love this. Clap it up for Rasheen. What's up, my man? I know, this is fun. This is fun. No, listen. Well, you are. I mean, that's just a fact. But I just wonder, before we start talking about the game and stuff, Jacksonville kid, Englewood, and I know you've been asked this a million times, but it's good to hear for the fans to hear. Englewood High School, broke your leg in high school, so you ended up going to Bethune.
Yes, sir.
Why you? Why did Rasheen Mathis go from, why are you the Jacksonville kid who got to live out this dream?
Blessed. I tell people all the time, I'm blessed. It could have been anybody.
Yeah.
So the way that I want to do it is do it in a humble way and show appreciation to the city and the family and all the fans. So it could have been anybody, and I'm just a blessed vessel.
Okay, yes, you are blessed. You're also humble. There was something else there. It's called hard work, commitment, dedication.
For sure.
Talk a little bit about that part.
For sure.
Yeah.
You don't get here easy. It's a tough road.
Oh, yeah.
It's not for the weak. So it's hard work, dedication, working when no one else is working. You know, Rashean was just on here. He's going through it now. Right? Like, it's longevity, long life, and trying to build a career where you can support your family afterwards. Mm-hmm. And that's what it's all about, right? It's anything in life. It's something that I'm teaching my kids now, that if you work hard for it, you can achieve it.
All right. You watch the games. You analyze like we do. You know a little bit more than we do, but give me your quick thoughts on what's happened to the Jags the last 2 weeks, and specifically yesterday.
Explosive plays.
Yeah.
Rashean touched on it as well.
Yeah.
You have to eliminate the explosive on defense. It was spoken in the DB room when we were when I was playing. It's spoken in the DB room now. Like, we're the last line of defense, and we have to eliminate explosive plays. And we weren't able to do that yesterday.
Yeah, you start mixing in young guys and the lack of experience. And, again, football is it works together, man. And if one guy slips up in the NFL, they're going to make you pay.
Yeah, quarterback finds it. It's amazing how it happens, but the quarterback always finds it.
All right, let's look at the AFC South standings because it's not all doom and gloom, okay? I mean, take a good look right there. That's 8-5. Listen, Rasheen, you live to play meaningful football in December. 100%. You don't want to be the 4-8 team, okay? You want to be the 8-5 team. That means every game counts going forward, and it starts Sunday night with Baltimore.
And that's called one thing: control your own destiny.
Yes.
Controlling your own destiny.
And if we look at the schedule, we've had two series where we've lost a couple games in a row. But after we lost 2 games in a row last time, we won 5 in a row. So there they are with 4 games left. And look, the Ravens, they're great. They're 10-3. We get it. Lamar is Lamar. Unbelievable football player. Unbelievable quarterback. Tampa, Carolina, the Titans. Control your own destiny. Take care of business going forward.
For sure. If at the beginning of the season, if someone would have told us we'll be 8-5 in the month of December, we would have took it.
Yeah.
We would have signed up for it. We would have took it. So right now we control our own destiny, and the team understands that. The staff understands that. So we're in a great place.
We didn't have a ton of huge games when you were here, but you got to play under the bright lights, man. And seemingly, when I think back to Rasheen Mathis, I think back to big plays on the bright lights. So talk about that. Do you get a little more amped up when you're playing in prime time and everybody's watching?
Yeah, big-time players show up in big-time games. That's what it's about. It's about those moments, capturing those moments. So the opportunities are going to present itself, and we have to be ready when it does.
All right, well, we're talking about the Baltimore Ravens. We're talking about under the lights, and let's take a look at the keys to the game.
Your keys to the game, sponsored by Greenway Kia.
All right, this is Dan Hicken's keys to the game, so I'll see if Rasheen Mathis agrees with me. But first and foremost, you can't stop him, but you got to contain Lamar Jackson, right?
100%. We have to contain that beast.
Yeah, he's great. I mean, he's
a game changer.
Yes.
That's what he is. He's a game changer. So we definitely have to contain him.
All right, we have not played as well in the trenches, I think, the last few weeks. We've got to, now this Ravens defense is kind of the Browns defense on steroids. The Browns were number 2. The Ravens are number 1. We have to find ways to compete in the trenches.
Oh, for sure. It's about winning the game up front. If you can control the game up front, you give yourself a chance elsewhere. So that's on both sides of the ball, for sure.
And one of the things that Rashean talked about, and I'm sure you'll agree with, is play clean football, right? It wasn't clean yesterday. It was clunky. There were mistakes, not just blown coverages, but penalties that you don't need to have, turnovers that you simply cannot have. Play a clean game. I think things will turn out your way.
And in meaningful games, playing those clean games, eliminating the MEs, the mental errors, and eliminating the flags and things of that nature, those are the things that allow you to win ball games.
Let me ask you a question before we head to break, Rasheen. You were such a talented athlete. So did you have you got to stick to the plan, right? But at times you think I know he's going to do this. So tell me about that little mental tug of war in your head.
Okay, so yeah, you have to stick to the game plan. You have to farm your own land. And I always went into the game with this. You have 1 or 2 bullets. You go into the game with 1 or 2 bullets where you're going to have to shoot your shot. You have to really strategically do it. And when that opportunity presents itself, you shoot your shot and don't get nosy any other time. Play disciplined football, but go into the game with 1 or 2 bullets.
Okay.
Shoot your shot, and then the rest of the game is disciplined football.
My man gave me a great term too. Farm your own land.
Farm your own land.
I like that. All right, we're gonna go around the NFL. Something happened in Kansas City yesterday. I've got to get your opinion on. I am going to have some fun with the Kansas City Chiefs when we come back. It's Jags Report Live. We got Rasheen Mathis in the house. We're live at Sneakers.
This is the Action Sports Jags Report Live. Coming to you live from Sneakers. Sponsored by Farrah & Farrah, the exclusive injury law firm of the Jaguars.
We didn't expect Ezra to go out, and I thought Blake stepped in and did a good job, but it's just about getting the extra reps and maybe getting a few extras with a few different combinations, continuity, and just knowing what everybody else does.
Oh, the big fellas, we need you guys. We got to get some continuity. We got to get some movement of men up front, and it's not easy. But, man, we got ETN is explosive, Rasheen. Welcome back, Sneakers. Dan Hicken, Rashean Mathis with us. ETN's so explosive. We got to get him going. But there's not a lot of room to run, man. He's getting the ball, and they're on top of him.
Yeah, we have to find a way to create gaps and get a little bit more push for him because he's an explosive athlete. He's a game changer as well. So the more touches, the better.
All right. I got to ask you. Kansas City, Buffalo, last night. Let's show the play. Well, we can't show the play, but I can show the picture. I mean, Kadarius Toney, my guy, Gator, he lines up offsides. Now, they're calling that this year. They've called it 11 times, so they know that they're calling it. And so, first things first, your thoughts before I get to the comments is a penalty. You got to throw that flag, don't you?
Yeah, you have to throw it. You have to be. You have to be consistent. You have to be consistent. So, that's his fault for lining up offsides for sure.
All right, let's hear the response from Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes.
The head coach gets a warning. I mean, that normally. So I don't know. I didn't have a protractor out there, but it's a bit embarrassing.
Early in the game about how he doesn't lose two straight.
All right, maybe I dubbed that in. But I felt like, I mean, you're the Kansas City Chiefs. You got 2 Super Bowls, man. And you guys have gotten a lot of calls your way in the history of mankind. And my goodness gracious. Look, what's happened is America's gotten sick of the Kansas City Chiefs, I think.
Yeah, as I said, they're the new Patriots.
Yeah.
Like, you're kind of tired of them winning.
Yeah.
So, you're nitpicking, but at the same time, it's a receiver job every time he line up on the ball to make sure that he's on side and check with the refs.
Andy, we didn't need a protractor, okay?
Exactly,
Your guy was like a foot over the line.
I'm a defensive guy, so for sure. Throw the flag.
Now, Rasheen, if the line of scrimmage were here and I was the receiver and you were pressing me, you'd know where to line up, right?
For sure, 100% for sure. He's done this a million times, so it's not on the ref.
All right, real quick, just some injuries from around the NFL. I want to show you folks and bring you up to date on what happened yesterday. So, man, oh, man, C.J. Stroud, head went off that turf at MetLife, and that was not a pretty thing. So we'll see how he does. Hopefully he's okay. He's a great talent and a lot of work. JJ got hurt again, but I heard it's not that serious. And then Justin Herbert, who had a streak like Trevor's, he's not going to be able to play Thursday night. I think he's going to get a little surgery on his right index finger.
Right. It's a long season. As the season get longer, more injuries occur. So this is the time where I heard Rashawn talking about just protecting your body, taking care of your body, him going to the yoga tomorrow, things of that nature, making sure because it's a long season, so you really have to take care of yourself.
All right, we got Rasheen Mathis. We got more coming up on Jags Report Live. We're going to talk about the secondary. We're going to talk about tackles. We're going to talk about Foye. We're going to hear from Dawon Smoot. We got a bunch of stuff, so stay with us.
This is the Action Sports Jags Report Live. Coming to you live from Sneakers. Sponsored by Farrah & Farrah, the exclusive injury law firm of the Jaguars.
We're definitely still optimistic. We're still 8-5. Like, there's no need to panic. Like, we're still in a good place. We just need to be able to figure out the problems that are happening and communicate more as a team. And we need to all just get on the same page.
Yes, they do. That's Dawon Smoot, the Walter Payton Man of the Year nominee for the Jacksonville Jaguars. We welcome you back to Sneakers. Dan Hicken, Rashean Mathis hanging out with us. We appreciate him so much. Give me the psyche of a football team when they've had a couple tough losses in a row. What's going on? Like, do you try not to lose confidence? Do you start losing confidence? You start questioning? Break me down a little bit on that.
Leadership.
Yeah.
Leadership. So your leaders have to take over the locker room.
Yeah.
Your leadership and management have to be on the same page and understanding where you are. Mm-hmm. And we talked about it earlier. They control their own destiny.
Yeah.
And when you control your own destiny, the sky's the limit. So you're in a great place. So this is when leadership has to take over and corral these young guys and get them together and understand where they actually stand.
All right, let's catch up with one of the leaders, Foye Oluokun.
Your tackle tracker, sponsored by IHRS, tackling hair loss.
Yeah, there he is, by the way. Devin Lloyd led the team in tackles yesterday. Oluokun up to 138. Last check, he was leading the National Football League. He's trying to do that for the third year in a row, man. You want to talk about a guy who needs the cold tub. Oh, my goodness. And he seeks out these tackles. I mean, Jesse Tuggle was the last guy to lead an NFL team lead the NFL in tackles 3 straight years. You remember him. Boy, you got to tip your cap to somebody like that, don't you?
You do. He reminds me a lot of Darryl Smith. He just has a nose for the football.
Yes.
He's always around the ball, always trying to make plays, so it's a great addition.
All right, let's talk about our current secondary a little bit. And they're beat up. Tyson Campbell, who you watch closely, he's as close to you as we've had around here in some time. What are your thoughts about this young man? Man, you'd hate to do – did you ever have any hamstring issues? Because they can linger, man.
Thankfully, I didn't.
Yeah.
I had a little growing issue at a time, but a hamstring, it is a tough feat to get past.
Yeah. So what do you like about his play? What do you see in him as a young guy was really coming on until this year? And like I said, he's had to battle some injuries. But talk to me about Tyson.
Yeah, he's just a young stud. Always willing to grow. He's taking advice from leadership and understanding what he needs to do to improve each year in and year out. He didn't let the fans or the critics get to his head initially. He struggled a little at first, right? But then he found his footing, and that's what you have to do in this league because it's not always going to be pretty.
All right, so young guy goes in first time. You know, we got Antonio Johnson, we got Buster Brown out there. I mean, their heads spinning. What you remember, liken that back to your debut, tell me a little bit about how that goes mentally when you're out there playing a position that, man, you can get turned around and burned quickly.
You better know you belong before that happens.
Right.
You better know you belong. So a good thing, we had Jimmy Smith in practice. I made sure I lined up against him every day.
Yeah.
I made sure I lined up against him every day and understood that I wasn't going to see much better than that. So he showed me a lot. He taught me a lot, and that's when I knew I belonged. So when I saw those other receivers across from me, it was okay.
I'll never forget this. I was at a charity softball game with Jimmy Smith one time. He was on first base, and they hit a little single. I've never seen it, and this is a charity softball. That dude exploded around I was like, my gosh, the speed of these guys. I have no idea how you could even think about even trying to cover them, but I guess just go out there and trust your athletic ability as well.
We never stop competing, regardless of where we are.
Yeah. One more quick question. You're big into baseball. I know your boys all play baseball. And after Shohei got paid, I think you make the right decision if they keep playing baseball.
The unicorn, baby. I knew it was coming. Yeah. He's a dual threat. So breaking away for pitcher and hitters on the way to in the future. So I love it. I love it. He's an amazing talent. So kudos to Shohei.
All right, this show goes to the dogs when we return. That's right. It's time to Ask Aspen. Don't you go anywhere. It's Jags Report Live at Sneakers.
This is the Action Sports Jags Report Live, coming to you live from Sneakers, sponsored by Farah & Farah, the exclusive injury law firm of the Jaguars.
All right, we've had a lot of fun here at Sneakers tonight. Yeah, a little Duval. Appreciate y'all being out here. Got Rasheen Mathis, had Rayshawn Jenkins. Good show tonight, despite the doom and gloom of the loss to the Cleveland Browns yesterday. But we're getting ready for Sunday Night Football and the Baltimore Ravens. But before we do, we got to look back. We have to ask Aspen, Rasheen. It's contractually obligated to see what that crazy dog picked this week.
It's time for Ask Aspen, sponsored by Subaru of Jacksonville on Atlantic, the right choice for your next vehicle.
All right, Aspen, make your pick.
Well, when I saw the pick, Rasheen, I went, that dog is crazy. But to the dog's credit, they did get 3 turnovers.
There we go.
They almost got 4. You can watch more of Aspen on the hit show Jags Social with Chandler and Olivia. That's Friday at 7:30 on Fox 30. A fantastic program. Quick thoughts on the doublehead. I don't know why we have 2 football games, but we do, and they're at the same time. So how does that help me as a fan? I want to watch both.
Yeah, I think there's a special networking that you can pay for to make sure you have both games on right now. So they do it for a reason.
You better get used to it, man. I mean, the NFL is going international. There's going to be more games than ever in different parts of the world, Mexico and Spain and Germany, and the Jags will be in London. So it's crazy. All right, Sunday night, Baltimore, just a quick thought. Jags need to get a win. What do they have to do?
Contain Lamar.
Yeah.
Contain Lamar, eliminate explosive plays, and everything will take care of itself.
All right, well, listen, Rasheen Mathis, ladies and gentlemen, still the best defensive player in Jacksonville Jaguars history. Appreciate you so much, Rasheen. Thank you,
buddy.
All right, Rasheen Mathis here. We'll be back next week, Monday night. Jags get a win over Baltimore. Let's get to 9-5. Thanks for hanging out with us. Have a great night, everybody.